everything. You want to take the guitar, let's sing one more good thing. I won't do it to say some holy words. And maybe you want to hear some Shabbat words. You sure you got to say something?
Will you answer some of the questions too?
I'm sorry, what?
Will you answer some of the questions we had learning too?
Sure, I'd love to, because I want to hear from everyone. Just the only thing you have to promise not more than 2 minutes.
Oh.
Where's my beyond pick? Instead, they don't have one. Beyond, they have one. Okay. What is his name? kids, and what did you want to say, darling?
We wanted to understand about the Ashan, what it is when you're looking at the tzaddikim. It was in the, I think in the
Over
second,
here, yeah.
when you're looking at the tzaddikim with not the right eyes, what
Yeah.
they're talking about this not having smoke in your eyes in the world.
This is, you see, I didn't learn this part because I really don't understand it, simple as it is. You know, sometimes you learn, you know, the way I learn, it's clear to me, I'm sure it's clear to you. I don't know the whole thing, you know. I cannot say I know from Israel till here. I don't. But a few words here and there I know, and I just give them over to the best of my ability, you know. But even without saying anything bad, what happens when your eyes are full of smoke? You can't see, right? It's crazy. Here's a light, and light makes you see, right? So how come you can't see? Because the smoke is going into your eyes, right? So if you are not looking if you don't see the light as it's a tzaddikim, right? So then when you come to the other world, which is full of light, yeah, but the smoke gets into your eyes so you can see anything. Yeah, I'm standing next to the light, smoke. You can stand in Yerushalayim and say bad things, right? Heartbreaking now. But the Gemara, you know, the Gemara is such a strong way of saying things. Your eyes are full of smoke. I'll tell you something, I had the privilege, you know, you have to learn so much and meet so many people until you can learn a little bit. I think I shared with some of you, my first job was, I was substitute teaching for Torah Sarah in New York. They have all those day schools, yeshivas, and I needed a few rubles. Anyway, I was going to Columbia University at that time, I needed a bit of money. I was substitute teaching, you know, for a day, for two, sometimes a week. My first job. I'm going there, and I'm sure I was the worst teacher in the world, looking back, but coming in there, and he says to me, I want you to know, come in. So the principal says to me, I want you to know, this teacher is going, they have to take out his tonsils, so we need a substitute for 2 weeks. Okay, the teacher says, I'll tell you all about the kids. I'm sorry to tell you, this is the worst class of the whole school, the whole yeshiva. There were about 10, 11, maybe 11, 5. It says to me here, let's say 16 kids. Moshe is impossible. Chatzkel is disgusting. Yechiel shouldn't have been born, you know. And the way, he didn't have one good word about any of the kids, right? No wonder they're bad, right? Anyway, the next day, our brother took over. It was one of the best times of my life. First of all, those kids were not dogs, right? We were learning the mission in Hamavkid, when you stole from 2 people and you don't know from whom you stole. You know, and sometimes I can go now empty David's pockets, he doesn't remember how much money he had, then I'll take from this holy brother, and he doesn't remember how much money he had, and I'll say, I'm sorry, I stole 500 shekel from whom? It was, I don't know, but I know it was one of the 2. So whom do I have to pay back? So one time I said, you put 500 shekel on the table, so that's all I can do, right? And the Chum said, no, you have to pay each one back 500 shekel, right? But it's not so simple, you have to hold them up. So I'm going the next day to the school, and I said, kids, I don't care what you did so far, you got to learn like crazy. But I want one of you will be the thief, and 2 of you will be the people stole from, right? Okay, everybody says, I want to be the thief, right? Anyway, we had a deal, like you're learning almost 2-3 pages, very deep stuff, you know. Every day another one can be the thief, but anyway, You can only be the thief if the day before you behave, right? You have to be good. It was so good. The kids were mum's fire, because they realized it relates to them. They also want to steal sometimes, the real little bit bad kids. But cutest in the world, Cute is not the word. And I don't know if I shared with you a story. I don't want to hold you up too long. It was one of my best times. And I was so grateful to my rabbis and to my father, where they taught me. He taught me, in the last row was someone sitting, scribbling the whole time. I told you the story now. So then he says, this Moshe is the worst, because he is mamish kabalt in drawing, and he mamish draws the dirtiest, filthiest pictures, and once a year he's selling them. They can't throw him out, because his father is the sole supporter of the yeshiva. But don't bother with him, This Moshe was sitting in the corner, didn't even look up, he didn't care who the next teacher is. After 3 days, obviously they thought I'm a little bit more soft. After intermission, nobody's in the class. So obviously they are in the men's room, and I'm sure the day is the day of the sale. I'm coming into the kaviyoko, to the holy place, and whole walls are plastered with all those pictures, right? He's really a good artist, But the moment the kids saw me coming in, they're out in a second, right? And Moshe is mamish like, he's dying from fear. Because they told me that the former teacher, he didn't hit him, because he can't, because his father's a top man, top supporter, but you can shockle a kid like this until the neshama goes out, He's standing there shivering. Mama's shivering, So I go up, Mama's, he needs a big hug, Obviously his parents also not taking care of him properly. I say, Moshe, you know something? You are going to be a great artist one day. Great artist. And I walk around looking at the pictures, say, unbelievable paintings, but Moshe, this is not the place to sell it, It doesn't fit. I took up the picture slowly, and then I said, Moshe, I want you to learn with me, but real good. We're going back to the class, and that was it. I'm going back to the class, and Moshe is sitting in the last row. I'm sure he didn't raise his hand in 2,000 years. I said, suddenly Moshe raises his hand. I said, Moshe, what's going on? He says, I'm sitting so far from you. Can't I sit a little bit closer? So Moshe, you know what? Take a chair and sit right next to me by the desk. I want you to know within 2 days, he was mamash a genius. He was mechaven every toises kasha. Every kasha toises asked. This boy has it in him. He could be a gewalt artist, a gewalt rabbi, everything in the world, right? And the learning was to high heaven for 1 week, or whatever it was. The Tanzel man comes back. And I told the kids, do me a favor, call me tomorrow, let me know what's happening. Really, the last time we said goodbye to each other was real sad, It was like leaving the kids to the wolves again. So the kids called me up the next day and they said the first thing the teacher did, because Moshe was hoping he let him sit again on the desk. The first thing, he says, Moshe, go back to your old place and don't bother me, What was his problem? Mamish, did he have eyes full of smoke? He'd never seen the kids yet, right? How can you say such bad things about those kids? They're the cutest, right? You know why they're wild? Because the way he was teaching didn't interest them, right? So what do kids do when they're bored stiff? They're not like adults sit there.